Owners are trying to restore the image of Federal Hill as a good place for Rhode Islanders to spend some time and money. Mark Murphy is the editor of the Providence Business News. The cover story of this week's edition of the paper outlines the efforts to bring back the good reputation of the Hill after some difficulties the past year or so. And we're all familiar with the difficulties, the violent incidents and the like. The article also talks about the increasing diversity of Federal Hill, which most people think is a good thing.
Yeah, and in fact they do. The issue becomes in some of the kinds of businesses that are coming there, and a lot of it has to do with nightclubs or hookah bars. They bring a younger, sort of more active, and some might say more violent crowd to the Hill, and that might be upsetting some of the folks who are looking for fine dining. They're not exactly the same clientele. Let's
take a look at some of the statistics that are published in the paper this week, comparing the crime statistics from last year and the year before. And the first three lines are not just Federal Hill, but all of District 4, which Federal Hill is part of, but the district goes beyond its borders. 5 murders last year compared to 1 the year before, 27 sexual offenses compared to 17 the year before, and 72 robberies last year versus 68 the year before. And that last figure is Federal Hill only. Violent crimes, 57 last year compared to 29 the year before.
And we actually, 29 was kind of a little bit of an outlier. It was a little lower. We actually got some numbers for the last decade for Federal Hill, and it's clear there's a slow rise in the amount of violent crime there. It's not just, it isn't just happening right now.
So what's their solution to bring Federal Hill back to where they want it to be?
Well, one thing that's happening is that I think the city is being a little bit more attentive to the incidents and pulling licenses on some establishments. The other thing is the city has brought back some more street patrols. In fact, the cover shot are a couple of cops walking the beat, and I think those two things are important. But some of it is also going to depend on the merchants who are up there as well.
The article also notes that meal and beverage tax revenues are down in Providence as a whole, and Federal Hill may have a good deal to do with that.
Well, that's one way to get at, to get past spin and actually look at real economic activity. So we asked about that. So yes, it's down, but you just have to wait and see what happens this year, because they didn't have a good year last year, and we'll see whether they recover.
There's more about that in today's Providence Business News. This week's edition also includes the 2015 Manufacturing Awards to area companies. And Mark Murphy, we thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Frank.